Oh Lord. Do you see that? Do you see what was inside my helmet? On my microphone? Oh. What the fuck, I never done some? Fuck off. Oh, hold on. That's a bit of bugger hamstring. I keep forgetting that. There's a big load of stuff up here behind me. So now, have a quick look on this and see if there's any information about what this thing is. On our merry way. Right, Garvagh. It's a community hall. Okay. Okay, we're in Tyrone now. Just took off my helmet. I realised that I never plugged in the microphone 45 minutes ago when I left the last line killing. So, this is Garvagh Hall. It's a local community hall, and I'm now going to take a photograph and leave. Now, see this little fella here? He's still hanging around. I don't know what he wants, but he'd want to piss off away from me now because he's annoying me. Just leaving Donegal town now and heading out towards Glenculum. I just pulled in the side of the road because I was going to not run the camera, and then I saw this and I thought, perhaps I should run the camera. My remote, you'll notice, is missing because the battery is dead. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the voice commands in the GoPro can be a bit tricky. You can tell the GoPro to GoPro start recording, GoPro stop recording, but sometimes the GoPro can be a bit like your nan. Hearing isn't the greatest, so you can say things like, I better go slow because I don't want to crash. The GoPro can hear go slow and just stop randomly recording. It's happened to me so many times and it is a serious pain in the... Anyway. It's the main reason that I got the remote control that you can see on my wrist, so that I could actually see on the remote control whether it's recording or not, or whether it's stopped or started. But it means that when I have to go back to voice control, it can be very, very tricky to not say things like go and stop and end and things like that, which could cause the GoPro to stop. Which means we're back on the commands from the vocal, and see, it's so difficult not to say the words that make the camera do things that you don't want it to do, as in previous videos. But essentially we're back on vocal commands, which means if I say the wrong thing, the camera will either initiate a video clip or it will cease to perform its function. I think it's okay for me to say that without affecting the functionality of... Oh gee, this is so hard! Anyway, we're an hour away from the August brief, about which I know nothing. It's some shipwreck. It's not a shipwreck, it's a commemoration of a shipwreck
around 1800. Any more than that now, I cannot tell you. This is my second time being in Donegal on a motorbike. The first time, there was a tail end of a hurricane. Basically, the entire day when I was doing the Circuit of Ireland was like this, until I got to Donegal town, and then the heavens opened. So this is a very pleasant change from the last time I was up here. The rain was so bad, right, that when I was going around roundabouts taking the third exit, I had to be in the left-hand lane because the inside lane was entirely flooded. Completely disorientated now. I'm 3/4 of an hour away from Glenculum, which is on the coast. I'm lost. Where's north? Hang on. Right. West. West. My geographical knowledge of the coast of Donegal is not the best now. Just leaving Ardara now. The remote is still not charged up, so I'm just going to leave it running on the vocal instructions. I'm just going to let it run because it looks like this might just be a little bit spectacular. Pull in here to one side for a quick. Now we can see where we're going. Yeah, we're 40 minutes away. On this road for 6 kilometers. I don't think we'll be going too hard on this road now. Gaeltacht. For anyone who doesn't know or is not from Ireland, on Gaeltacht, there are lots of un-Gaeltacht areas in Ireland. Non-Gaeltacht is an area where the Irish language is spoken. So if you've watched any of my videos, you know that the introduction that I do in every single video that I put up is the Ismaríomh Galéir agus na fáilte Rashka the Clark Whaki Shin Changa Gaeltacht. This is the language of the Gaeltacht. This is the Irish language. Jeez, like go handy. So in this area the people speak the Irish language. That is, they obviously speak English as well, but okay, for anyone who's not from Ireland, anyone who's from Ireland knows this backwards anyway, but for anybody who's not from Ireland, like Old Man Tony or Mr. TPR or any of these other people, the Irish national language is Irish. It is Gaelic or Gaelga. Due to our long... Jesus, look at this, lads. Due to our long history, which I won't go into now, our language was beaten out of us. Because we were colonised. Our country was taken over, and a variety of things like penal laws, plantations of Ulster, plantations of Laois and Offaly, Munster plantations, all these saw Irish culture being destroyed, because what happened was the English transplanted their own citizens, Presbyterians from Scotland or English speaking people, and basically planted them in the country, gave them land, took the land off the Irish, gave it to the English and the Scottish, who were loyal to the crown. So the English language was transplanted into the country, and over centuries Irish began to die off, basically, because if you wanted to get a job, well, first of all, you couldn't get an education if you were an Irish speaker. Penal laws meant that education was the preserve of the English ruling classes, and the only education that Irish people got really was sending their children to France or to the seminaries. That was the only real education that people got. Now, if you continue on for over the hundreds of years, basically, if you wanted to get on in life, if you wanted to get away from the farm, if you wanted to get a job, you needed to be able to speak the language of the people who were in charge, people who were giving jobs. So a lot of peasants actually discouraged their children from learning Irish. Now, so over time the Irish language died off. Are you actually getting this scenery, by the way, lads? Look at this. But anyway, to cut a long story short, for fuck's sake, look at this. Like, I thought the Beara Peninsula couldn't be topped, like, but like, seriously. But anyway, cut a long story short, wherever the English went, the Irish language died out. But there were certain areas where the English never really got a stronghold. They never really got to put their foot on the throat of the Irish language, and basically it was because they didn't want it. They did not want places like this, and I'm going to pull in here so you can see. Look at this. Wow. This is outstanding. That's unreal. Look at that. Picture has to be got. Right, let's switch you off for a while. GoPro, stop recording. Lads, this is how many meters? Really? Really? Take the next right. Oh Lord, 16 kilometers of this. Are you sure? Straight on, I presume, yes? Mahara? Okay. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, basically the Irish language survived in places like this because places like this. Look at these bowl books. Get in. Places like this is not really appealing to an English landlord, because in places like Ulster, Leinster and Munster, you had good fertile land. You could rent your land to an Irish peasant or a couple of hundred Irish peasants, and they could actually afford to pay you rent because they could grow potatoes, or they could raise cattle, or they could do some sort of agricultural commerce that would provide them with finances to pay you rent. Places like this did not tend to support strong financial agricultural ventures. That remains the same today pretty much. Like, these are areas of outstanding natural beauty, but if your primary income comes from growing potatoes, look around. There's that green area over there. That's about the only place I can see here that might possibly sustain a plot of potatoes, or, you know, you could have sheep here, but you would have to have a lot of sheep here on a lot of ground to try to make money to pay the rents. So areas like this the landlords didn't really want. So this is places where the English influence didn't really get a foothold, which meant that the Irish language didn't suffer from the same threats as it did in more areas which were more popular with the English landlords. That's a school, 1896. That's actually, Mr. Photo Rally people, Irish Photo Rally or Iron Boat Association, do you know what would be a really good topic? Primary schools, rural primary schools, because the country is filled with small little buildings, two classroom schools that are now closed down or defunct because the population no longer demands that there be a school in the area, because there are no children of school going age. But the country is filled with them in obscure locations like this. I think that'd be a good theme for the photo rally. In fact, if they don't do it, maybe next year I'll do my own Kaza Whaki photo rally, and anyone who wants to do it can join in. This is... Jeez, this is stunning. Calm, you clown. Headbutting the gate. Lads, this is wilderness. This looks to be heading into the ever-increasing wilderness here. Oh, and now I'm on the fucking grass. Oh, Jesus. And you do not want to be on the grass. It'd be very easy to topple over. Now, where's this fucking taking me? Well, we should assume that it's down this way. Ah, lads. Ah, look at this for stunning beauty. Look at this. Oh, lads. Look at this. Oh, nearly ran out of road there. Look at, oh my god. Picture postcard or what? Look at this. Yeah, you look at that and I'll look at the road and not stray onto the grass in the middle. There's the Atlantic. We are now approaching the edge. We're running out of Ireland. Go back in now, you, and don't jump out in front of me like an idiot. This, lads. Now, if you want, you can ring Mr. Wilson, inquire about the auction, and you can own something here. Yes, we're nearly here now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Now I have to cross that little bridge, and walk up to the monument. Here's a photo rallier. It's either a photo rallier or a chap with a quad. Oh yeah. Now, that's made me feel a whole lot better, because I do not really want to go up there with this. I could. I've gone worse places with this, but I really don't particularly want to. Okay, so someone is camping here. There's an awful lot of them. They're carrying an awful lot of equipment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vehicles and a trailer. And kind of a TP tent. Wow! This is cool. In order to complete the brief, you have to take a photograph of yourself. Now, you have to take a photograph of yourself, not the bike. This is class, look at this. What the hell kind of setup is this? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At least 12 people there. Now, let's see what this monument is about. I know it's about a shipwreck in around 1800. But the circumstances... Oh, hang on. Right. Yeah, except that's the one I want. So on the 16th of November 1870, a ship named the Sydney, carrying a cargo of wood from Quebec to Greenock, was wrecked in a violent storm at the Kaza. There were only 2 survivors. The other 19 crew members were lost. 4 bodies were recovered and are buried here. The cross was erected by the Legion of Mary, Carrick, in memory of all those lost in the Sydney disaster, and also in memory of all those who lost their lives at sea. It was blessed by the Very Reverend Canon Francis McAteer, Parish Priest in Carrick, 2014. This is beautiful here, though. Look at this. Oh, you could happily camp here. Now, this is the monument, which is the brief. Yeah, this stone is in memory of the sailors who were lost off the ship the Sydney on the 16th of October 1870. The ship, a bark, was transporting a cargo of timber from Quebec in Canada to Greenock in Scotland, and it sank during a fierce gale after being forced into the area known as Kaza and striking the rock Buillig, located due southwest from port. This is a pretty cool spot, though. Very cool spot. Now, I'm not going to go a whole lot further than this. Awesome. Fucking awesome.